Welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka.
And hello, I am Yatin Mota.
Well, a day of consolidation, so to say, Yatin. We have been cruising along within a band for the Nifty. In fact, we had a quiet start. Towards the midday, we were, yo-yoing between the 22,650 to 22,700 mark. We didn't really manage to hold on to that 22,700 mark, but, ended just a shade below that 22,650 mark. So, a rather flat close for the market. Even the broader end of the markets, nothing to write home about. The mid-cap index was up 0.5%. I think in intraday trade, it also managed to hit a fresh high, but, that's a regular phenomenon now, at least with the mid-cap end of the market. So, all in all, breadth was also fairly evenly balanced, and if you look at the Nifty Bank index, that deserves mention because we did manage to hit the day's high, but slipped from there and ended the day in the negative zone. Even the PSU Bank index ended the day in the red. What did well today, of course, the auto pack numbers, the April sales figures came out. They were pretty much a mixed bag, but one trend that emerged was that CV end of the segment did much better compared to the passenger vehicle segment. Aside of that, pharma was another pocket that did well. If you look at the individual movers, OMCs deserve a mention today. The crude prices fell below that $80 per barrel mark. The US crude I'm talking about here. Brent was trading around $84 per barrel. Significant cool off coming in there, and OMCs clearly reacting to that, with BPCL, HPCL, IOC all rallying anywhere between 2 to 8% a piece. Power Grid is the other one that was the top Nifty gainer on Tuesday. Today as well, up 4%. You had paint companies doing well. Of course, you have crude, a derivative of that industry, coming down. So Asian paints among the top gainers today. So was Bajaj Auto and Tata Motors on the back of April sales data. On the losing end, of course, Kotak Mahindra Bank, joint MD has resigned. So that was among the top losers on the Nifty. UPL, Airtel, Tata Consumer, Axis, Wipro. These were some of the other movers. But Yatin, we are seeing quite a few high flyers in the broader end of the markets, news based, results based, a lot of news flow. So take us through some of the movers.
So I think the Godrej group, those stocks were down in trade because the market was expecting some corporate action and a lot of restructuring, but it was a quiet kind of a restructuring post which most of the Godrej stocks saw profit taking, including Godrej Industries, which was the top loser on the Nifty 500. Now, talking about the gainers, we have REC, which moved another 10% in trade today. Results were good, and the management commentary talking about growth prospects, that probably caught investor attention, and that stock moved another 10% in trade today after a move on Monday as well. We had Raymond, that stock moved 9%. Chola posed the numbers which came in the fag end of the trading session on Tuesday. We had a positive reaction there, 9% up for that one. India Mart, and good margin growth seen there after quite some time, and that stock moved 8.5%. In the losing end, apart from Godrej Industries, we had Supreme Industries, Godrej Properties, all of these stocks losing steam. But yes, a lot of speculation for Kotak Bank. That stock went down 3% on the back of resignation of KVS Manian, who was the joint MD. ICICI Bank also, there was a Morningstar report which indicated that Mr. Bakshi, who is the MD of the bank, plans to resign. Obviously, ICICI Bank refuted the story. Despite that, the stock ended 1% lower. But yes, a lot of volatility in bank stocks. But the trend of result reactions continue on Dalal Street.
Well, of course, trend of result reactions and also a lot of news-based reactions. Of course, you mentioned ICICI Bank as well. The management was quick to come out with a clarification that, this is not the case. This is just, reports which are, aimed at maligning the bank and stakeholders as well. But still, we saw ICICI Bank coming under pressure. But, of course, talk of the day, Kotak Bank, that was the top Nifty loser today, on the back of the resignation of the joint MD, KVS Manian. Of course, analysts believe that losing a key management personnel, and that too at such a senior level, is a setback. Remember, this comes just a week after RBI's crackdown on the credit card as well as digital end of the business, which of course was seen as a setback by the street, and this seems to be a double whammy as well. Although some of the brokerages have retained their ratings on the stock, but want to mention that Nuvama has downgraded the stock to reduce from buy. Target price has also been slashed to 1530 vis-a-vis 2095 rupees a share. they have downgraded the stock on the back of back-to-back negatives after the RBI crackdown, as well as this top-level exit that is coming in. And they've also pointed out that there have been many senior-level exits over the last 6 months, and that seems to be an overhang. I think ever since Uday Kotak stepped aside, we've seen quite a few resignations, and analysts have taken note of that, and they've said that the recent changes will hurt growth as well as profitability over the next 12 to 18 months. IIFL Securities has also retained its sell rating target price at 1800 rupees per share. It is pointed out that valuations of this particular stock are still expensive, even though the stock has underperformed its peers like ICICI Bank, as well as Axis Bank by a wide margin, 18% or thereabouts. But still, IIFL Securities says that the valuations are expensive, and IIFL Securities has also said that they will be watchful of senior management exits. Also pointed out that most of the earnings tailwinds have dissipated for the bank. Remember, the earnings will also be coming out on Saturday for Kotak Mahindra Bank. Most of the banks, Yatin, have given out a positive surprise, in terms of earnings, but we'll have to see whether or not Kotak manages to do that as well, at least in Q4 or not. Aside of that, there's some chatter that KVS Manian may go to, Federal Bank, may join Federal Bank as the CEO, but when Shyam Srinivasan his tenure ends in September. But speaking to CNBC TV 18, Shyam Srinivasan has said that the board has set up a CEO search panel and names have been submitted to the RBI as well. But he's said that he won't comment on them, and of course due process will be followed when it comes to appointing an MD and CEO for the bank. So all in all, Kotak Mahindra Bank, things not looking all that great. Regulatory issues, top level exits, quite a few setbacks when it comes to this particular lender.
Absolutely, and Kotak Bank, as you mentioned, a lot of senior level exits, which probably the street has not appreciated. But talking about the Godrej Group, and over yesterday's holiday, we had updates coming in from the Godrej Group that they would be, separating, the business units according to the family tree. Obviously, Adi Godrej and his cousin Jamshed Godrej would be, separating the businesses, which consists of listed companies. Most of them would go to Adi Godrej and his brother Nadir Godrej, and also if you look at the unlisted company, which is Godrej Boyas and Company, which is largely into the overall scheme of engineering space, as well as defense, as well as the land parcel at Vikhroli. They will be taking care of that particular asset. Now CLSA has today come out with a report on Godrej Properties, in which they have given a sell rating. Obviously, the target price is also kept at 2,100 rupees. The main reason why CLSA believes that one should sell Godrej Properties, number one is the rich valuations, number two is the optionality with relation to the Vikhroli land. Now earlier we had seen that Godrej Boyas sold their land parcels to Godrej Properties. In turn, Godrej Properties developed these lands. Now according to the restructuring of the Godrej Group, we have Godrej Boyas, which will keep the entire 4,000 acre land parcel of Godrej Group, which is situated at Vikhroli, central to Mumbai's heartland, and out of that 4,000 acres, nearly 1,000 acres is developable land. Earlier agreements were that Godrej will get a development fee, or probably they will be a developer in case Godrej Boyas appoints them as a developer. So the optionality with respect to the Vikhroli land has gone, and according to brokerages, now the stock trades at rich valuations, and hence they are maintaining a sell rating on the stock.
All right. Of course, most of the analyst reports that I was reading, Yatin, said that this development will not have a lot of impact, a major impact on the listed entities. Now that uncertainty over where the Vikhroli land will be, that has been removed. But on that note, let's also take a look at two stocks, REC and PFC. They've once again they're back at their record levels. REC, of course, great set of numbers that came out on Tuesday itself, and the stock did react with a 9% rally. But today as well, we saw another 9% rally coming in on the back of positive management commentary coming in. But of course, let's first take a look at the numbers. Profit growth was at somewhere around 30% or 33% on a YOY basis. This was led by healthy growth in core income as well as provision write back. Revenue from operations grew 25% and core NII also rose nearly 30% amid rise in disbursements. Disbursements, by the way, grew over 65% on a YOY basis. Now, the company is confident of maintaining margins at somewhere around 33.5% or thereabouts in FY25. In fact, improving asset quality and stressed asset resolution aided the FY24 numbers. For FY24, remember, it reported its highest ever annual PAT. And of course, the street has clearly cheered it. The company is aiming to be net debt free, or net NPA free rather, so to say, by FY25. It has debt raising plans as well of 1.6 lakh crore for FY25. The stock has rallied over 25% in the last 5 sessions itself. But if you look at the yearly performance over the last 1 year, it has rallied over 300%. Of course, these are some of the Maharatna stocks that have been doing well. And in tandem with that, I think we saw Power Grid also rallying 4% or thereabouts today as well. So things looking good for some of these Maharatnas.
Absolutely, and REC PFC have seen a massive rally from levels of 200. They have been one of the biggest wealth creators in the government's financial services space. Obviously, PSU banks have also done well, but so have REC and PFC.
Well then, those are all the stocks on our radar this afternoon. Of course, we'll be back with the markets tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So don't forget to tune in to opening bell. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned to Money Control for all your other news and updates.